Holy schmoly, Bitcoin made a big pullback. In today's video, we're going to review, is this a potential turnaround right at this very spot? Or is this going to be a long-term downtrend and a couple years in recovery in Bitcoin? And at the end of the video, we're going to really dive into Bitcoin dominance, and I'm going to reveal something about the Crypto SmartWatch spreadsheet that I've never shown on a video before. We've got an information-packed video today. It's super important. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Let's jump in. Our Ichimoku Cloud trend continuation cross turned out to be very valid, both at the top formation and on this trend continuation down here. Now, prices have pulled back into a deep daily mean reversion trade signal potential on the Bollinger Bands. And as we zoom in on those prices, we can see that prices have come down into what might be the post-capitulation buyout strategy. If you are a perma-bear in Bitcoin, you will look for any different reason that prices are stopping, hitting support and resistance, and they're going to turn around right from this very moment. But the truth is, you need to have a system that's going to get you into the trade and out of the trade when the risk is there, get you into the trade, get you out of the trade when the risk is there. If you'd like to follow along this bot that trades this system for free, be sure to click on the link down below in the description, and you can sign up on Signally and follow along with this bot. It'll take your USDT, go back and forth into Bitcoin really slowly. It does a fantastic job for a really patient trader. Now let's jump into this. On November the 16th, I created a video that said that when this line breaks on the RSI, our trend is done and we're heading back down. And now that is broken, and we really have to turn around this whole thing before we're going to get any kind of trend change. Let's jump in on this now. On November the 16th, I made a video that said when this line breaks, our trend is finished. But we do have a much larger, longer term trend here that may be continuing, and we have to consider that the RSI could be bouncing off these levels. It could be into super oversold territory in the smaller time frames, which would support the theory of a major turnaround from here. So we're zooming in now on the RSI. What we'll need for a bullish move now is a break above this downward pattern all the way along. So we'll watch this downward pattern for that to consolidate and break. On the 12-hour time frame, we still have that downward pattern that we're watching for. Super oversold on the 4-hour time frame. Pull it back, and that's as oversold as it gets. That's a really good bottom signal to be that oversold. Pretty cool, actually. So we get into the 1-hour time frame, and it's also super oversold, way down. Again, historically, as far back as I can pull it, that's as oversold as it's been, which is supporting the Bollinger Band mean reversion and the potential for this to be a turnaround here when we zoom right in on it. Now, for this to be a turnaround that we can sink our teeth into, for my own part at least, I've got to have a 1, 2, 3 formation on at least some time frame. And so as we have this number 1 point, we have a number 2 point here. This could be our potential number 3 point. And this would be where we could start feathering in. So if I had $1,000 to invest, I could do $100 here. I could do another couple $100 here, and I would have to wait, and I could do another $1,000 back up, or add the rest of the $1,000 back up here. So if we're crazy enough to jump in on something like this, we really want to feather our way in. Risk control is the most important thing. Every loss you take reminds you of that, but having a specific plan for risk control is really important. If you don't have a specific plan for risk control, head over to the website and grab this free training. You'll get a webinar, and you'll get a study guide that goes along with it that I will give to you so that you can understand these 1, 2, 3 formations that we're going over, and a bit more about the risk control rules that we follow as we're setting up when trading correctly. Here on the MACD, we definitely have a bearish confirmation here with that crossover on the weekly time frame. Now we're going to zoom into the shorter time frames to see if there's any kind of crossover that gives us a bullish foothold, And breaking this level on the way up would be a bullish foothold. So we always have to watch for that. We'll have to watch for this one to bottom and consolidate as well. As it broke off of these levels, that was our exit signal. There's our exit signal. Really not as clear on those exit signals. I still think it's building up for a larger bull move. And this may be our capitulation that really clears out everybody who is over leveraged, too large of a position at the top. There's your capitulation. Really extreme. Wow. Really great to be recording this right now so that we can see just how extreme this has gone and look back on this in the future. So here again, my trading system, my trading bot actually outperforms my own personal trading, and it has for years and years and years. It's always done better than me. And recently I've put all force towards botting this. Now we have a place where you can join and copy this trader for free, $0 per month. It's for the really patient trader. You can allocate as little as $200 US. We have 10 traders, $2,300 allocated so far. If you're a patient trader and you want to have this bot working for you to turn your USDT into Bitcoin at the right time, click on the link down below and you can join up in this free bot as well. And I'll be covering that throughout this channel. As you may know, I've been pointing out the difference in volume from October 2020 and October 2021 trading volume. There's a real difference in the trading volume on this second run up, and it's really weaker. And now I want to zoom in on this volume and take a look at it to watch what's going on in the volume on this potential for the post-capitulation buy-in signal right now. If this is a buy signal right down at these levels and we've rejected off these lows and that's it, we've got the capitulation that we needed in the market to clear everything out, then we're going to have to see this volume starting to pick up. If we are going to see this be a post-capitulation buyout strategy right here, then we will absolutely have to see this volume pick up on the shorter time frames. I think the star of our show is the Ichimoku cloud. We definitely had a signal on the 15th of November, and we had another signal here on the 3rd of December. It really clearly told us the top formation is here. It's not always the time where things crash, but when we have a 1, 2, 3 top formation and the 12-hour Ichimoku cloud is crossing the blue over the red, it's really important to pay attention to. Now we're in a downtrend, and so long as that blue comes up and crosses over the red again, we're going to continue in that downtrend, much like we were in the uptrend on the way up here. We touch the cloud and then off we go. Touch the cloud and off we go. So if we're coming up to the cloud and we're touching it, we'll be looking for a top formation. Even if we consolidate here and we move our way up, we'll be looking for a top formation here as well. There's a lot of different places now where the market is looking bearish. Perhaps the star of this show will be the Bollinger Bands, where here on the daily time frame, we are way outside that third standard deviation. And should we consolidate and we come back up inside that third standard deviation, that is the Bollinger Band mean reversion buy signal here on the daily time frame. So if I look on the 12-hour, it's also wide, huge mean reversion. I was looking for that mean reversion on the 4-hour as we came out, but it continued into a much larger mean reversion where we've come out of the third standard deviation and we're back inside it. So there's the beginning of our signal that if we are going to get that mean reversion, this is it. As Bitcoin made these big drops, we've had a lot of eyes looking at Bitcoin dominance. So if I move back to the weekly time frame and then move over to Bitcoin dominance, we can see how opposite these are. Bitcoin dominance is now making the 3 touches of death. It's not just a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's confirmed. There's 3 touches of death. For me right there, that is often a turnaround. And so I'm really super aware of the potential for Bitcoin dominance to be finishing a bottom right here. And it's going to be turning around with gusto. And if we do get that post-capitulation buyout in Bitcoin and it starts to surge from here, I'll pay close attention to what Bitcoin dominance is doing on the very short time frame. I do still anticipate that this is going to rocket up as Bitcoin takes off and that the alts are going to get massively crushed. So if you're holding altcoins, what should you do? Well, certainly move your stops up just in case so that you are protected from where you are. Reduce your risks as much as possible in the altcoins. Here is a look inside the Crypto SmartWatch control panel, and we have the 3 bull markets from 2021 laid out here. You can see the yellow is when we went into alert status, and the yellow would go up and grow before the green. As we go into alert status, that happens first. Then they go from alert status into hold status. Once the bull market is finishing, you can see that the green starts to pull back and the light green starts to pull up. So we have the yellow pulling back. That's showing the alerts are really easing off. There's no more new coins coming up to the bullish threshold. When the green is easing off, you can see the light green is picking up as things are going into the partial hold status. And in this bull market here, we could see we had a bull wave, it pulled back a bit, and then we had a second bull wave in many of the markets, but not all of them. Then we pulled back, we had a potential for the third wave, and then everything eased back again until the end of June. And that was our bull wave from the beginning of January until the end of June. At the beginning of July, we saw that all of the alerts picked up again. And in August, the alerts really got strong. And then we had a whole bunch of hold status coins. They all eased off until the middle of October. And then things started to pick up again in the middle of October. We had a whole bunch more alerts. They turned into hold status coins, and we hit a peak of 135 hold status coins here. And now we've pulled back, the partial coins have pulled up, and the alerts have all pulled back. This is showing that altcoins are easing off. The bullishness of the altcoin market is cooling down. So with Bitcoin dominance bottoming and the altcoins cooling down this way in our hold statuses, it makes me believe that we're going to get a whole bunch more exits, things going to partial exit stance and then going to full exit stance. We can see that our peak in late February, we were up to about 151 bullish coins. And then in, early April, we were up to 147 coins. And then everything pulled back. That's the time to be taking profit when things are starting to pull back. Here again, in the beginning of July until August, we saw a whole bunch of coins going into hold status, and then they started to pull back, and we could see everything all consolidating down to very few coins still in hold status. That all turned around again here in October. We went heavily into alert status. That transferred over into a whole bunch of hold coins, and they are all topping out and pulling back now. This is the time to be looking at taking profit in your altcoins. And it really makes me grateful to be giving this warning about what's going on in the altcoin bull market, because we could see in our color codes that we were all yellow through this period here, green through this period. We went a little bit light green, heavy green through this period, and then we transitioned so that there was very few coins in hold status right here as we went into the end of June. Then we had a little bit of a bull run here that we caught, and a little bit of a bull run here. We saw the alerts pick up through this period, the alerts pick up through this period, but through these bottoms here, we saw all of the hold statuses easing back. All of the alerts had pulled back. The partial hold statuses were pulling back. This is when we're to be exiting our alts. I don't know the future. Maybe dominance will continue going down and the alts will pick up even more from here, but I don't think so. I think that they are just about to get a real spanking, and that Bitcoin is actually going to revert from this spot here, much against everybody's predictions. Even my own prediction when I go out to the weekly time frame and I review what we had in the video yesterday, I pulled this little piece of chart over and I moved it into the same place, logarithmic format, so that we can see how this turns out. And this prediction says we could come down to $20,000, $10,000 if we're repeating the same pullback from the past. We don't know what is going to be coming, but we really could have that mean reversion trade instead here, and that everything continues on the bull market. Wrecks everybody on both sides, up and down, normal for Bitcoin. It is a contradictory time in Bitcoin and in the alts. It is super high risk, But there's options on both sides that we have to be aware of, especially right now with Bitcoin and with what's going on in the alts. Now, if you find this video helpful, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share this over on Facebook, share it on Reddit, get the word out about this so that people don't get totally wrecked in the altcoins right now. And that's a wrap for me. Let me get this processed and published. Be sure to trade safe and keep those losses small.